Karen chased teen with a broom, then lied to cops and got charged with assault. The sun was dipping below the neat row of houses on Maple Street, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple. The air carried the scent of freshly cut grass, but the usual calm of the suburban evening was shattered by a scream. "You little punk!" Karen Mitchell's voice tore through the quiet, sharp and venomous. She stood on her pristine lawn, her face twisted in fury, clutching a broom like a weapon. Her target? A lanky 16-year-old named Ethan, who was sprinting across the street, his skateboard tucked under his arm, his heart pounding in his chest. Ethan hadn't meant to cause trouble. He'd been skating with friends, practicing ollies near the park, when his board veered off, skidding into Karen's prized flower bed. The bright pink petunias she'd bragged about at every neighborhood meeting were now a trampled mess. He'd apologized profusely, stammering as he tried to fix the damage, but Karen wasn't having it. Her eyes blazed with a rage that seemed bigger than a few crushed flowers. "You think you can ruin my property and walk away?" she shrieked, raising the broom. Ethan, sensing danger, bolted. The chase was absurd but terrifying. Karen, in her beige cardigan and sensible loafers, pursued Ethan with a speed that defied her age. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, some stepping onto their porches, phones in hand, recording the spectacle. Ethan's sneakers slapped against the pavement as he glanced back, seeing the broom swinging wildly. "I said I was sorry," he yelled, but Karen's anger was a runaway train. She cornered him near the cul-de-sac, where he tripped, sprawling onto the asphalt. The broom came down, not hard enough to injure but enough to make him flinch, his pride stinging more than his scraped knees. That's when Mrs. Delgado, the quiet widow from across the street, stepped in. She was an unexpected figure in the chaos, her silver hair glinting under the streetlights. "Karen, stop this," she called, her voice steady but firm. She'd been watching from her porch, her old flip phone trembling in her hands as she recorded the scene. Karen froze, the broom still raised, her chest heaving. "He destroyed my garden," she spat, but Mrs. Delgado shook her head. "He's a kid. You're scaring him." The crowd murmured, some nodding, others whispering. Ethan, panting, scrambled to his feet, his eyes darting between Karen and the growing audience. The police arrived minutes later, their sirens cutting through the tension. Karen, now composed, spun a tale as smooth as silk. "He vandalized my property, officer," she said, her voice dripping with righteous indignation. "I was just defending myself. He came at me first." Ethan's jaw dropped. "That's a lie," he blurted. But Karen's story held weight, her word against a teenager's. The officers, skeptical but procedural, took statements. Ethan's heart sank as he saw one cop jotting down Karen's version, her crocodile tears glistening. But then came the twist. Mrs. Delgado, who'd been silent since her outburst, shuffled forward, holding out her phone. "I recorded it," she said quietly. The officers watched the grainy footage. Karen chasing Ethan, swinging the broom, while he begged her to stop. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, and Karen's face drained of color. That's not the whole story," she stammered, but the evidence was damning. The officers exchanged glances, and one began reading Karen her rights. "Assault and filing a false report," he said, cuffing her hands. The neighborhood fell silent, the weight of justice settling over the scene. Karen's lies unraveled faster than her composure. The video spread online, shared by neighbors who'd once nodded along to her complaints at HOA meetings. Ethan, though shaken, became a local hero of sorts, his story a cautionary tale about standing up to bullies. But the victory was bittersweet. Karen wasn't just a caricature of rage. She was a woman unraveling under pressures no one saw. Her husband had left her the year before. Her job was hanging by a thread, and those petunias were her last grip on control. Her outburst wasn't just about flowers, it was a cry from a life spiraling out of her grasp. Ethan, too, carried scars. He stopped skating near Maple Street, the joy of it tainted by the memory of that broom. He'd learned that apologies didn't always fix things, that some people's anger ran deeper than reason. Mrs. Delgado, the unsung hero, returned to her quiet life, her small act of courage a ripple that changed the neighborhood's dynamic. She'd shown that truth could cut through lies, but only if someone dared to speak it. As Karen sat in the back of the police car, her head bowed, the neighbors dispersed, their phones still buzzing with the video. Some felt vindicated, others uneasy. Karen's fall was a spectacle, but it forced them to confront their own silence. How many had let her complaints slide? Her entitlement fester? The incident wasn't just about a broom or a lie. It was about a community that had ignored the cracks until they shattered. In the days that followed, Ethan's friends rallied around him. But he couldn't shake the image of Karen's face, not the rage. But the moment her lies collapsed, the flicker of shame in her eyes. He wondered if he'd been too quick to judge her, if her story had more layers than he'd seen. Mrs. Delgado, meanwhile, became a quiet legend, her video a testament to the power of standing up, even when it's easier to stay silent. The story of Maple Street lingered, a reminder that truth and justice aren't always clean-cut. Karen faced charges, her reputation in tatters, but the neighborhood had to reckon with its own role in letting her anger fester unchecked. Ethan, bruised but wiser, carried on, his skateboard a symbol of resilience. And Mrs. Delgado, with her old flip phone, proved that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they just press record. What do you think? Was Karen's punishment fair, or did the community fail her long before the broom came out?